A regular chore when working on Gulo is to turn scanned documents into text. So taking something like this and turning it into this. It's certainly easier to read in this format, and it means people can search for it as well, either using Gulo's own search or Google search. I've recently tried using the free AI tools to read in the scanned pages and output it as text, and I've been very impressed with the results. I mean, for the first time, I've actually seen it work with handwritten notes as well, turning them accurately into text. So in this video, I'll show how I used it and the results I've got to help you decide if it's something that you'd like to try. These are the samples that I'm going to use. We'll start off with a scan of a page from a document. We'll look at a photograph of a document, which actually caused some trouble, but we were able to work around it. We've got newspaper clipping, something that I often do. Will be convert a little clipping from the Hong Kong Library and turn that into text to post onto Gulo. And then the exciting one are a couple of handwritten pages from a wartime diary, and really this was quite exciting, the quality of the results we got. I will finish off with another scanned page because it has a table, and that will introduce its own troubles. So for each of the samples, my measure for whether AI is a success or not is to see, is it faster than me just reading the page and typing in the text myself? If I'm just quoting a single sentence, certainly the quickest option is to type it in. But for longer pieces of text, I'm hoping AI will save me time. We need to look at the overall time taken. So, is it very time consuming to set up, or is it just quite quick and straightforward? And how accurate is the text from the AI? If there are lots of mistakes that we're going to have to check through carefully and correct, again, it's probably going to be easier just to go and type it in ourselves. I tried 3 of the well-known AI tools that are free to use: ChatGPT, Claude, and Google Gemini. I put links to all 3 in the notes below. I found that they were all equally easy to use, but it just seemed Gemini gave me the best results, the most accurate text. So that's what I'll be using in this video. If you haven't tried AI before, think of it as a new assistant who's come to work with you and is waiting for your instructions. We're going to type the instructions in here. And we also have the options to attach files if we click the little plus down at bottom left. This is our first sample. Let's pass that into Gemini. Click on the plus, choose Upload Files, and double click on the page. Now next I give it my instructions. I click on Ask Gemini and I type extract all the text from this image without paraphrasing or summarizing. Just check that's okay. All right, and then we hit submit over here, and then Google does its thing. So straight away we run into one of the problems I've experienced. So you can see the original text reads, "The diesel engine so far has followed vertical reciprocating practice." Over here we've got the diesel engine is in this fashion being a progressive practice. It's like, where did that come from? So here's one of the problems. Google and AI in general can just make stuff up. So it's something you've got to keep a lookout for. What I found is that giving it the whole document seems to introduce these problems. If we just give it the text, it seems to get on better. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to use Windows 11 snipping tool. So I hit print screen, draw an outline around the text we're interested in. All right, that's on the clipboard. Go back to Gemini. Control V, paste that in. Hit the up arrow key, tab, bring back the previous prompt, and see how it gets on this time. The diesel engine so far has followed vertical reciprocating practice. Okay, that's a lot better. So that all looks good. When the AI is finished and produced the text, you can click the little icon here to copy it. And then if, for example, you could paste it into a document, you could paste it into a page on Gulo, whatever makes sense for you. And just having a quick skim through that, I can see there's an error down here. That one doesn't belong in the text. But I can't see any other errors, so that's pretty good going. Might want to just tidy up the formatting a little bit. All done. Certainly much quicker than me typing in the text. Just switching back to Google for a moment, Google Gemini, that without paraphrasing or summarizing is an attempt to stop it from going off the rails and changing the text in any way. I've seen it work sometimes, didn't in this case, but I think worth having there. Right, on to the next one. And this time we're using a photograph of a document. This is a page from a 19th century book. I photographed it at the National Archives up in London, and it's a page from Chadwick's report that we looked at in a recent video. Same as before, upload the file. Up arrow, tab, and away we go. Two problems. First one is it's quite slow, took about a minute to finish. And if we look at just the last sentence here, for example, it's possible that some nuisance might be caused by the filth depositing on the beach or mudflaps, but it would be dealt with properly under the head of sanitation. Might be caused, and that's again very different from this last sentence here. I think part of the problem is that the page is at this strange angle, and also the text is only a small part of a large image. So I took this file into Photoshop and straightened up the page. Here we are, we end up with this. So let's try again and see if that works any better. It's possible that some nuisance might be caused by the filth depositing on the beach at Lupsap Wan, but the reclamations which are in progress there will tend to diminish this evil. Okay, so this time we've got an exact match, so much better. Next, I want to extract some text from one of the old newspapers in Hong Kong Library's online collection. Here we are. Now in this case, I haven't got the image as a file, it's just here on the screen. So I'm going to use the Windows snipping tool to take a copy of this. Hit print screen, draw around the text. Okay, that's on the clipboard. Back to Google, paste, up arrow tab. So that's quick and easy, very accurate. And this is impressive. I think if I'd given an image like this to the commercial OCR software that I used to use, I'm sure I'd have had to make several corrections. But this seems to have got everything exactly right. That's another win. AI then clearly is handling typed documents well. How will it get on with handwritten notes? One of the long-running projects on Gulo is to serialize diaries that were written in Hong Kong during World War II, but a barrier to that is the time it takes to convert handwritten diaries into the text we can post to Gulo. Up till now, it's always needed volunteers to do that. Here's an example. It's a page from Mr. A.N. Braude's diary, written in July 1942. Let's see what Gemini makes of that. upload the file. Ask it to extract the text. Now that's really impressive. I can spot 2 mistakes. Even they may go QIO, even though they may go SIQ. And right at the end, there's a couple of W's which have been transcribed as H. So we has become he and he. And a little embarrassing one there, a P has become a B. So just small mistakes, quick to fix. I'd certainly use AI to work with these. Here's a page from over 3 years later. It was a momentous day when the POWs learned that Japan had surrendered and the war was over. Now it's a photo instead of a scan. We can see the paper's not quite flat, and it's also a bit smaller than I'd like, a bit lower resolution. But anyway, let's give it a try. Again then, it's done very well. This should be WA, so that's another mistake of a W. This should be PIG, but that's it. Very pleasantly surprised. I tried using AI to work on handwritten notes before and got very poor results. This is very impressive. Now, last sample is a familiar one. It's a page from the list of jurors in Hong Kong for 1886. We've had a long-running project to transcribe these lists. So far, it's relied on volunteers doing the transcription by hand, so can AI help us? I'm going to use a slightly different command this time. Extract all the text from the table in the attached image. I don't want the whole document, just the table. See how it gets on with that. Anderson George Cobbin. Anton James Ross, no. Arnold Thomas has become Asmus Thomas Ross. Bachrach Oscar is okay. Beard Edward has become Bart William. Bear Ernest has become Batten Ernest. Belilios Emmanuel Raphael has become Belin Raphael Raphael. I think that's enough. It really struggles with tables, and just the text is not accurately transcribed at all. So it looks as though we'll need to rely on human volunteers to finish off the remaining lists. So to summarize, can we use the free AI tools to transcribe text from images? Well, when it works very well, and the ability to transcribe handwritten text is especially impressive. But I've seen several strange behaviors even during this short test. The trouble with tables, there's times when transcription misses chunks of text, or even stranger, it adds in text which doesn't exist in the document at all. So I think you should try AI with your own documents to see if it can help. And if it's going to work on your handwritten diaries in particular, that's going to be a huge bonus. But just realize it's not reliable enough to trust completely. So you must pay close attention to the results and check their accuracy. Finally, if you'd like to try it out, you'll get best results if you give the AI good material to work with. So scanned pages work best, keep the pages flat, and scan in at a resolution of between 300 to 600 dpi. Photographs can also work, but just make sure the page is well lit and that the page is flat. Don't go taking at an angle, don't have the page curved. Anyway, I hope you found that helpful. That wraps up the video. Thank you very much for watching.